السلام عليكم ومرحبا بكم مشاهدينا الكرام. تتذكرون ربما أنه قبل شهرين أو 3 أشهر قمت بوضع فيديو على قناتي يتحدث عن انخفاض أعداد السياح القادمين الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وقلت أنه من بين الأسباب التي دفعت العديد من السياح هي الإجراءات التي اتخذها دونالد ترامب بخصوص موضوع الهجرة. شاهدنا العديد من السياح الأوروبيين الذين ربما يتم توقيفهم في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في مطارات الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. هناك مشكل الرسوم الجمركية التي يهدد دونالد ترامب بفرضها على العديد من دول العالم بما فيها دول الاتحاد الأوروبي. فهناك العديد من المشاكل التي أدت إلى انخفاض أعداد السياح القادمين من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. اليوم سوف أتحدث على مدينة بدأ يثار بخصوصها الجدل، وهي مدينة لاس فيغاس بولاية نيفادا. فيقال حاليا أنه هناك العديد من الناس الذين تتحدث على أن لاس فيغاس أصبحت فارغة، وأن أعداد السياح الذين كانوا يأتون لزيارة هذه المدينة انخفض بشكل كبير. وهناك العديد من الفيديوهات على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي التي تم تصويرها في مدينة لاس فيغاس، تبين أنه مثلا الشارع المعروف في لاس فيغاس أصبح فارغ في بعض ساعات النهار. هناك من يقول أن السبب ربما يعود إلى أن هؤلاء الذين يصورون هذه الفيديوهات يصورونها مثلا في وقت الظهيرة، وكما تعلمون أن لاس فيغاس معروفة بشدة الحرارة. لكن هناك أناس يؤكدون أن لاس فيغاس بدأت تفقد بريقها، وأن هناك العديد من السياح الأجانب الذين بدأوا يتوقفون على زيارة هذه المدينة. فسوف أترككم مع آراء الأمريكيين بخصوص هذا الموضوع وانخفاض معدلات السياحة في مدينة لاس فيغاس. لكن في نفس الوقت سوف أطرح هذا السؤال وأطالب الناس الذين تسكن في مدينة لاس فيغاس أن يعلقوا على هذا الموضوع. هل صحيح أن لاس فيغاس الآن أصبحت مدينة ميتة بسبب انخفاض الإقبال السياحي على هذه المدينة، أم أن هذه الفيديوهات التي تنشر الآن على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي لا أساس لها من الصحة؟ شكرا لكم.
They are not lying about Vegas being dead, y'all. I'm a waitress on the Strip, and last year around this time, I made like 300 to 500 a day in tips. And today, I just walked home with $124.
Las Vegas is in a lot of trouble, and I think I can tell you why in a way that's not like the other videos. I hope that I tell this in a way that enough people can really hear this story. I moved to Las Vegas during the first financial recession, 2009, and my first night here, I stayed at the Excalibur. When I was here, I stopped at, as soon as I got to Las Vegas, I stopped at a terrible gas station, and this woman looked at me. I must have looked so frightened, and she was like, "Honey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I just moved here." She's like, "Well, let me know if you need anything." And I just thought that was so cool. And yeah, eventually I found a place to stay, and eventually I found a job. It was really, really tough. I would not tell you to move to Las Vegas right now. It's going to be tough to get a job. Tougher than then. Tougher than it was. But I love this town, and I explored every part of this town. I've been to every corner of every casino, whether that's local or on the Strip. I've been inside every casino. I've done every cheesy attraction you can go to, the M&M's place, the chocolate fountain at the Bellagio, the Seven Magic Mountains, just everything you could do, the Atomic Museum. And I always felt welcome in the halls of casinos in this town. It was affordable. If you played in the casino, you were treated well. You got comps, you got things from them. And I would go to shows at the Mandalay Bay. I would go to shows at MGM, T-Mobile Arena. I remember I went to a concert at the Mandalay Bay. It was $50. I didn't pay for parking. And then we had dinner afterwards. It was $25 for dinner to do that. It was truly a magical time. And for a good 10 years of my life, if you asked me anything about Las Vegas, I could tell you every little fact and weird little part of every fact. 3 days after I moved to Las Vegas, Oscar Goodman, the mob lawyer, comes up to me, "Welcome to Las Vegas." And this town was so magical to me. All of the parts of it. Red Rock, Ethel M's Chocolate Factory, Lake Las Vegas, all of these things I got to experience, and I'm so grateful for that. And it felt like a different universe and a different time. But I could not imagine that now. I could not imagine as a local going to a casino on the Strip, whether that was parking or how I would be treated or the lack of really any incentive to go. It's so prohibitively expensive, and the energy has changed, and it is not welcoming and hospitable. We have become hostile to the people that built this town. And it's sad. It's very sad. And the reason is because our leaders have sold us out. The leaders over the last 20 years, they've done very well for themselves, but they have sold us out. And it has really stolen the magic of this town. I drove up the 15 today on a Thursday night, and there was no traffic. This town is in a lot of trouble. It's not any magic anymore.
I live in Las Vegas, and people are talking a lot about Las Vegas, how Las Vegas is down and people aren't visiting and flights are empty and all this stuff. This is what I can tell you. It's a Friday afternoon, and I just drove across town. I mean, from one end of the town to the other end of Las Vegas, and I just did it in 17 minutes. 17 minutes. No traffic whatsoever. And this morning there was eerily no traffic whatsoever. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but this much I can tell you. There's no traffic. There's no traffic in Vegas at all. If on a Friday afternoon I can drive from one side of the town all the way to the other, from Summerlin all the way to Henderson in 17 minutes? Yeah, something's up. Something's up in Vegas. I don't know exactly what, but there's no traffic in Vegas, especially on a Friday.
Did you all hear what's going on in Las Vegas? Hotel occupancy is way down, nearly 15% lower than last year. And even casinos, I guess, aren't pulling the crowds like they used to. The average room price dropped to $163 a night. Buffets are going to run you about $100. Heck, a cup of coffee is going to be $9. And resort fees are draining people's wallets. One tourist flat out said Vegas isn't even fun anymore. Casinos are cutting costs, workers are making less, and get this, tipped staff say they are earning 50% less than before. Even international travel is down. Canadian visitors, that alone dropped nearly 20%, and overall global travel to Vegas is lagging really bad thanks to rising costs, political tensions, stricter entry fees. Vegas allegedly is shifting towards high-end luxury, but in doing so, it might have priced out the very people who made it iconic in the first place. So here's my question. Is Las Vegas dying? Has it lost its fun, its charm, its edge? Or is it just too expensive now? Would you still visit based on the prices that you're hearing and what it's going to cost you to go? And if you do, what would you bring back? Or have you already moved on? Drop your thoughts below. Appreciate you.
Sin City is in a slump, and Canadians are partly to blame. Now, travel in Vegas is down about 11%, according to some of the figures that we've gotten from the Visitors and Convention Center. We can show our audience some of these figures. Some Americans are holding back, as well because of some higher fees. There's fewer perks for gamblers. But when you look at the airline data, you can see there has been an even sharper decline in the number of Canadians. The number of Air Canada passengers, that's down 33% year over year. WestJet, the largest Canadian carrier to Vegas, their traffic is off about 31%. And then low-cost carrier Flair, it's off a stunning 62% year over year. And so the casinos are hurting, their stocks are down, and some of the CEOs of these major resorts are specifically mentioning Canada as the reason for their softer than expected results. I listened in on their quarterly conference calls, and the CEO of MGM Resorts said Canadian traffic has dropped off since the beginning of the year. There was a major dip after Trump launched the trade war, and it hasn't recovered. The leader of Caesars Entertainment, another major operator along the Strip, says Canadians are a big reason why there are so many rooms that have gone empty over the last number of months. So I can tell you that this phenomenon has not gone unnoticed by some of the casino bigwigs. So I spoke to one expert at the University of Nevada to find out just what sort of impact this has had on the local economy. He crunched the numbers for me very generously, and he found that Canadians contributed about $3.6 billion US to the local economy last year, supporting 43,000 jobs in Las Vegas alone. That's more than manufacturing. That's more than the utility sectors. It's nearly as big as what the major Air Force base in the region contributes. And that's saying something because they have 15,000 military personnel working on that base. So, if this boycott continues, there could be job losses. And that's really a problem because Nevada, it already has the second highest unemployment rate in the U.S.